Good morning, everybody. 7:20 in the office down in Wellington. Bit of an overcast sort of a day. Well, today is a Members' Day, which is a bit unusual. The government's popped one in, an extra one in towards the end of the year. So I think I have got two pieces of legislation, depending how far down the members list we get. So we've got Chris Bishop's bill, which is around the censor ratings on film and publications. Now, not too sure about this particular piece of legislation really. It does a couple of things that I need a bit of clarity on. New Zealand First needs a bit of clarity on, so it's most likely that we're going to support the bill through to the select committee process so that we can hear from the public and hear from the chief censor, etc, etc. So because we're just a little bit concerned that the legislation puts in place something that can override the chief censor, so doubles up on the censor's role, or gives somebody, well, if you don't agree with the chief censor, this other people over here can sort it out for you. And the reality is that they're talking about the movies or publications that are at the really extreme end that the chief censor looks to ban. So yeah, a little bit uncomfortable with it. We'll be listening very closely to the introduction by Chris Bishop, whose members' bill it is, and to the other contributions, and then looking forward to the select committee process. The second piece of legislation, if we get down to it, is Nanaia Mahuta's bill, which would require charter schools, or partnership schools, as the government would like you to call them, it would put the power of the OIA and the Ombudsman over those schools. Now, again, we'll support this bill. We totally disagree with charter schools in the main, so would be keen to remove or cancel the contracts of charter schools anyway, but because we see it as an abdication of the state's responsibility. So that's why, particularly when these, the rhetoric is constantly about Māori and Pacifica students, and yet 95% of Māori students are inside mainstream English-speaking schools. So we would much have preferred to see the money that is being poured into charter schools put into the mainstream system and supported te kotahitanga and addressed unconscious bias inside the structure of the schooling system and the education system, and supported our Māori and Pacifica learners inside the current state education system, rather than abdicate that responsibility out to private providers. But these partnership schools, charter schools, are not OIA-able, and every state school is. But there is some, I managed to get a clause inside the original bill at the Education and Science Select Committee when Nikki Kay was the chair. Actually it was Cam Calder, I think, had taken over. So I managed to get some oversight of the Ombudsman into the original piece of legislation. So it'll be interesting to have Nanaia speak to her bill, because part of it may already be in place. But yeah, so that's later today, again depending on how the day flows. How fast they get through pieces of legislation would depend on how far down that members list we'll get to. Select committee this morning, hearing the oral submissions on the education update bill. Haven't seen anybody really, apart from those that can make money out of it, want 100% online learning. And quite a reasonable amount of comment about lowering the entry age for schools to below 5. And I'm pretty sure I've got one of the, I think it might be the Ministry of Education is actually there. They have to come and talk to us about their annual review, their annual reports. So yeah, big day in select committee, and then, as I say, might be something there for me in the afternoon in the house. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.